We continue our celebration of Black Business Month with the Black-owned bookstore in downtown Ypsilanti. Joining me is the co-owner of Blackstone Bookstore, Carlos Franklin. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Very much appreciate your time. Tell me, before we get into what you brought here today, how'd you get into the book business?
Well, I always loved, first of all, what I brought is some of my favorite reads. A lot of people always ask me, what do you read and what do you like? And sometimes I read so much I forget, so I said, let me bring some visuals so I can remember some of the titles and some of the authors. What made me start a bookstore is because I just love to read. And I used to give people books. I read them and give it to people, And that was getting expensive. So I said, I got to find a way where I can still read the books and still share it with people. So I said, open up a bookstore. Now I read it and I tell them go buy the book.
Yeah, and you've been in business for over a decade. Some would think this might be a hard time to be a bookstore. You know, we live in the digital age, digital everything, and some of the major big chains of bookstores have shut down. How's business going for you?
It's pretty good. I get a lot of support from my community. I really appreciate they kept me going. You know, COVID was a hard time, and I made it through that. And I really don't get caught up in the stereotype of the reading and people not reading. I think it's readers that's out there. It's just that, you know, like they say, you build and they will come.
Yeah. And you don't just call it a bookstore, you call it a cultural center as well. Why is that?
Yes, because that's what the purpose, me and my partner, we wanted to build something where you just don't get books. We sell incense, we sell oils, we sell black soap, shea butter, and shirts and stuff. So we wanted somewhere where you can go and there's a cultural center where you can learn and get things from our culture. Yeah.
Did you always plan to be an entrepreneur, to open a bookstore?
I always been an entrepreneur, but the bookstore, I never thought I would own a bookstore.
Yeah.
So,
How did that come to be? What was that decision like?
I was like, I want to put books in people's hands.
Yeah.
One of the books I brought is this book right here, and this was a book that I gave my wife when we was dating. I gave her this book. I kind of liked it, and when I first opened up my bookstore, I took this book and sold it. I had to get her a new one, so I literally started with one book and started selling out of the trunk of my car, and then I worked at a gas station, and the owner there let me set up books at the gas station, but that book was like literally, and she was mad, she's still mad at me because I took her original book. I was like, it's the same, it got the same words in there, you know, so that's how I started, and it's just been a fun ride, a fun experience.
Yeah, why is it so important to you to get literature, to get knowledge into other people's hands?
I just love knowledge. I think some of the problems that we have is a lack of knowledge. I believe that if we learn about ourselves and learn about other people, it kind of bridged the gap, and I just was a lover of knowledge.
Yeah.
When I'm in the bathroom, I read the back of the toilet paper. I just love reading, and it's, you know, you give a person a gift. It's like if you hit the lotto for $1 million, you want to help your friends and your family, and that's how I was when I first started reading. I was like, man, I want everybody, like a lot of people don't know that. It's one of the cheapest vacations, like $15 can take you around the world. I had a third grade teacher that she fed me all type of books. It wasn't just black books or white books or green. She fed me anything from Malcolm X to Judy Blume, How to Eat Fried Worms. And so I just appreciated that. And you know, as a poor kid growing up, it was just one of those things where, man, I can leave the ghetto, you know, just by reading a book. So I wanted other people to share in that experience.
Yeah, it couldn't have been easy to get the business off the ground. What were some of the challenges you faced?
I look at it different. Like, I really didn't have challenges because it was things that I love.
Yeah.
So even the challenge was a blessing because I come from humble background. So, and some of the things that I was trying to accomplish, it was just like, it's part of the journey. So when you look at something bad, me and my partner, we just pay out of the rent and everything out of our pocket before we even made money. And I didn't look at it as bad, nothing bad. I just look at it like, you know, it kept me out of trouble, and it was something to do fun and make my family proud.
I'm sure they are proud. On your website, you describe the store as a sanctuary. What is the experience that you want people to have when they walk through the doors?
Well, a lot of people, when they walk in, the first thing, oh, it smells good, because we got candles and incense and oil, and then it's got brick, you know, in there, and it just, people just, man, it's something special about it, and I just I don't know what it is. You know, we had the vice president visit us.
Yes, heard about that.
We had the governor visit us. We have, you know, local authors and visit us, and they all say the same things, like just something about this place. And you know, I don't try to put it on me. You know how some people say, well, what made you do this? And what the sky opened up and the light came out and Moses. No, it just something I just pursued, and it just brought me a lot of blessings.
Yeah. What was that like to see people like the governor and the vice president of the United States in your store?
I mean, you can't pay for that type of publicity. I know that's one thing. It was just amazing. I know one of my volunteers called me and was like, the CIA, the FBI, the Secret Service here. And, you know, the first thing I said was, who are they looking for? You know? And she said, no, she says the vice president coming, and Octavia Spencer, which is an actress, she came. And I was actually at a funeral. And so she's like, you got to get here. So I just dropped everything and went there and met her. She seemed like a very personable person, and we had the nicest exchange. We liked some of the things. She plays chess, I played chess.
Very nice.
So I liked it when the governor came. I knew about that. Like they called and asked, and so I had a heads up. But when vice president came, I didn't have a heads up, even though they scouted a place like a week before time.
Yeah.
And the Secret Service guy like, you don't remember me from last week? I was like, oh yeah. He said, yeah, we came here last week. So
a welcome surprise.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
welcome surprise. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on all of your success so far. Again, the Blackstone Bookstore is in downtown Ypsilanti, and you have a website people can shop on as well. What's that?
Blackstone Bookstore. .com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, and come on, stop by. We have in-store pickup. If you like to order, and you just do in-store pickup, and we can ship anywhere in America. And I was supposed to write some notes, and I might be forgetting.
That's all right. I think you got it all. Carlos Franklin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
your time.
me. Yeah.